Adhocracy News, April 3rd, 2017. Today's top stories. Crayola retires a color.
April Fool's Day ads. Now, advertisers and creators are mad at YouTube.
Hello, I'm JD Melville.
And I'm David Landeen, and welcome to Adhocracy News, where we cover stories about advertising, marketing, art, and design that you care about. We hope.
Hopefully. On to today's top stories.
If there weren't enough reasons to be down in our current day, Crayola, a subsidiary of Hallmark Cards, announced that it is retiring its dandelion color.
Now, my yard could really use, a retirement of dandelions altogether.
This bright and sunny color was actually introduced in 1990 and moved up to the big leagues of their 24-pack. That's kind of like the big game, right?
Yeah.
The company had actually planned to give the color a proper send-off on Friday, which they were calling National Crayon Day, but it was actually foiled because a Target store shelved the product too early.
Oh, Target.
A keen designer saw the package and actually sent a picture to her son, and her son actually leaked it to the world. And so Crayola kind of had to scramble, but they still did their live event, their live Facebook event, where they kind of showed, here's the, Dandelion's leaving. He's wearing a fun little fedora. He's, going off to the big dandelion field in the sky.
Yep. And they had a video that I saw about he's like an explorer, and he would go and do all these adventures, and that's why he had his Indiana Jones fedora on for that as well. So.
Yeah, they've done stuff like this before. Like they've retired colors before. They have a Hall of Fame actually. That holds these colors, and so every once in a while they bring this. It's a great way to bring in excitement and bring people around. But of course, with the spoiler of the dandelion being revealed, the new hue, which is actually a deep blue, was actually leaked as well, and they're actually going to allow their community and people to chime in and name it, a la Bodie McBoatface, so we might have
Bluey McBlueface.
Yeah,
well, it'd be fitting.
And of course on Twitter and under the hashtag you can read tons of jokes, chides, and current event humor. There was one that said "Yellow, is it me you're looking for?"
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
it's clever. Well, he's gone to the great crayon store in the sky.
Yeah,
or
the crayon box.
The great crayon box in the sky.
Yeah.
Wow. What a story. I mean, we'll have to keep an eye on that one and let you know how that progresses.
That was a pretty good story, but you know what? I think I can top that with this story. April Fool's Day was on Saturday. So naturally, companies upped the confusion factor by releasing their fake ads a day early. Quilted Northern announced USIT, a wearable tracker that would record bathroom time. Honda announced Honda honk emojis that would allow you to honk different tunes for different emotions.
I like that.
I know, it would be handy. Buffalo Wild Wings released their beard sauce that would improve beard growth but should not be worn around cats.
I like that a lot. I could use that.
I couldn't.
Maybe you could.
Maybe
you need the Buffalo Wild Wings beard sauce.
That's possible. Burger King made an ad about a Whopper flavored toothpaste so you can always have the Whopper taste in your mouth.
Wow.
Yeah, well, I mean, at least you wouldn't have to worry about drinking orange juice afterwards.
True.
So
True.
That could be it.
It could work well.
Yeah. There were some clever ads, but I was a little disappointed this year. Didn't feel like they were at the top of their game. I did see another one about a bullet with a camera in it to improve your optics, so you could see exactly what you were shooting and confirm hits and everything.
It's interesting because I think I read an article this past week on how people are kind of sick of fake news, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're kind of in this environment where actual fake news exists, and so some of these ads may come across as more fake news in a world. So some people are tired of it. I personally think it's kind of fun. I think people are looking they're trying to remind us that this corporation is just like us, and really for me it's sort of like these people are human. There are funny people behind this.
Oh yeah.
I also like that it's a joke behind it.
I like April Fool's Day ads. I just don't feel like they were up to par. I mean, you would look at it like, oh, that's April Fool's. I mean, there wasn't like that one that you're like, I don't know if this is real or not. I really want this to be real. Like, they kind of have gone towards the sarcastic side rather than the believable, but it's not true.
Well, maybe it's because we are used to them now, right?
Yeah.
We've now done 2 shows on them, and they've been going back for quite a few years. So,
So we'll have to see what America's reaction to these is. Maybe it's just us. Okay, well, I don't know if I topped you with that story, but maybe I did. Tell us.
Okay, well, let's move on from this pointless competition to our next story.
With the ad agency 72 and Sunny parting ways with Justin Hooper and Mick DeMaria, who were Carl's Jr.'s creative, what are they called?
it was their creative team.
Creative team. And also with the early retirement of Carl's Jr. CEO, Andrew Puzder,
who was actually trying to be in the cabinet of Donald
Trump.
Trump.
Carl's Jr. is trying to change their image and released a great new video to announce this. In this commercial, fictional character Carl Hardy Sr. Decided to check in on Jr., who was running the family business of Carl's Jr. If you don't know, Hardee's and Carl's Jr. are actually the same company, just it's kind of an East Coast, West Coast type of deal.
Yeah. Sort of south.
Yeah, I guess south.
Hardee's is sort of in the south, and Carl's Jr.'s everywhere else.
But he wanted to go check on Junior, and Junior got in some trouble. Changes were made. It's a really clever ad, and it's kind of an interesting one because it's almost like it's an apology note it's kind of about how
it's sort of like a move on.
Well, yeah, because all of their ads were like sexy girls with no clothes on, and
they even said in the ad, "Burgers, not boobs."
Yeah, so it's really interesting. But when you watch it, pay attention to the expressions on all of the girls' faces, because there's girls who work at the company, and like the more I watch, the more I just notice their expressions and how excited they kind of are to see this move on, which is really fun.
It makes me wonder why they're actually working there, right? Like, if it was that bad, would you be staying around?
That's true. Anyway, we may be covering this more because it's a really interesting concept of how to do a ad, like a branding change.
Yeah, there's a lot of rebranding that they did with this as well. The logo and everything changed. They've gone to yellow and black as opposed to that red as well. So
So check that out, and it will be nice to watch Carl's Jr. commercials again.
It'll be a little less cringeworthy when you're watching the Super Bowl and one of their commercials comes on.
Yeah. You'll be excited, but maybe for different reasons.
Yes.
Sometimes life is hard to understand, the world around us, but that's why you have us to answer those questions.
If you think Big Brother is looking over your shoulder, then you'll only feel a little bit more paranoid. Congress is working to pass legislation that would get rid of landmark privacy protections. This allows internet service providers to collect, store, share, and sell different types of personal information like browsing history, app usage, location, and more.
Okay.
Yeah, the legislation was actually passed back in October, and of
but
course,
it's actually going into act.
They're sort of shutting it down now.
Oh,
so the Republicans are now.
Okay, so it was we were protected, but now we're not anymore.
Correct.
Okay.
Advocates for the repeal point to the legislation constricting innovation, and that ISPs already have these guidelines in place. So it's sort of it's limiting business in ways that it probably shouldn't. But this actually allows ISPs the ability to see more about you than before and be able to use that information in more ways than before. Both sides of this are working to use it to their advantage. Of course, the ISPs being able to look and see how they can use this information, where you also have the other side looking to protect sensitive data and information. The HTTPS, the Hypertext Transport Protocol Secure, so there's HTTP and HTTPS. S is secure is one of these particular measures that they're using to help block that information. Sites that may take a hit to their bottom line are rapidly adopting these measures as to not lose customers because you visit their site, you don't want anyone to know.
I think people, especially in this time that we live in, where people are so worried about their privacy and they're so worried about Big Brother watching, and like in Congress, in Washington right now, there's all this stuff about leak documents and sensitivity and so definitely see how people can be worried.
And as well, users are also finding ways to work through like VPNs and find other measures to help protect themselves from their information being collected and shared.
All right, well, we'll have to see where this one goes.
Right.
So that last story in no way answered any deep questions of the Cosmo.
No, it didn't.
But hey, you know what? Maybe this next story will.
Okay.
In a follow-up story that we did last week, YouTube's struggles continue.
Yikes.
You may remember that companies who advertised with them pulled out because their ads were being shown on channels of hate and terrorist groups, also on websites. So all of a sudden, all these companies are just pulling their ads. Well, this week, their creators are getting upset because they're seeing their ad revenue decline on their videos because there's fewer companies that are advertising with them. There's fewer, there's less diversity and fewer options on which you can advertise.
And the restrictions, and how they kind of gauge that, they
your channel may get flagged because you said something because they're trying to cut, get people to, or get channels better targeted to the ads and know which channels are. Anyway, you may have seen that. This week creators are getting upset about this. So now YouTube isn't getting love from the creators or the advertisers,
which is their base. That's what their business is.
Yeah. But lucky for us, we don't get enough ad revenue or have enough viewership for this to matter to us. I mean, yet. Maybe in the future, by the time you're watching this, it will matter, and we'll be upset. But YouTube released a statement to the creators that said, if you think your video was demonetized in error, request an appeal by clicking on the yellow $ icon next to the video in Video Manager. YouTube, being known for their amazing communication, which I'm being sarcastic, surprisingly enough, even with this in-depth statement from YouTube that clears everything up, confusion still exists.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
We'll have to see how that one plays out too.
Yeah.
Well, this has been the Adhocracy News, covering advertising, marketing, art, and design, and no way has answered any deep questions for any of us.
And that's okay. But you know what? If you like what you saw here, if you like these stories, then you can subscribe.
Yeah.
You can push that button down there.
That'll let you know when we have new shows. That's every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
And you can also tell us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram if you see a story that we didn't cover or a story that we should cover.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for commenting, liking, sharing, and subscribing to our videos. We really appreciate it.
And you know what? We appreciate it so much.
Oh, what are we going to do?
We are going to give you a video to watch after this video.
Aw, we're so kind.
Go for Junior.
Junior, I think your dad is here.
What? Tell him I'm in a meeting.